Okay, so hopefully you guys all took my advice last week. Welcome back to the channel, eCom Tom here, and hopefully you guys all took my advice on starting a new manual dropshipping store. If you have found out that you're flagged, if you found out that you're not flagged, then maybe you can go and use that store and actually go manual with it. If not, there's a high likelihood you will be flagged. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, or if this is your first time watching my channel, I did create a playlist for you guys on manual eBay dropshipping. So if you go up to the top right over there, or wherever the top right is when I'm looking at the camera, then click on the little eye. It's a white eye or a white circle with a black eye in the middle of it. It'll drop down all the suggested videos that I have for you guys throughout this video. So you guys really like that PowerPoint slide that I made, so I went ahead and I made another one, and let's not waste any time and let's get straight into it. So like you guys have seen, the title of this video is 3 ways to make more sales eBay dropshipping in 2019, the manual eBay dropshipping method made by me, written by eCom Tom. I got my little pointer out, so we're ready to go. I got my notes somewhere, so let's get those up before anything happens. And also, just to make one note for you guys, as you guys are going through this, make sure to check in the description because I did put the link to the PowerPoint in it, so you guys can go and look back through it as I go or follow along with me, or just look at it afterwards. So before we get started, like I said in the last video, if at any point you have a question, please pause and type the question. No question's a stupid question, like I said in the last video. And also, if you have that question, I can guarantee you 10, 20, 30 other people also have that question as well. And also, be sure to stay until the end of the video for a free giveaway. Jason and I, my business partner, have been working very hard on the back end for you guys for this free giveaway. So make sure you stay until the end because you don't want to miss it. So we'll go on to the next slide here. And also, if at any point in time you're like, wow, this content is great, I really like what Tom's giving me, be sure to not Hulk smash that like button, but please Gronk spike that like button. I am from Boston, and Gronk did just retire 2 days ago. I really don't care that much about football, but you can't not like the guy. He's a great person. So if you guys like the video, please like it. And without further ado, we will get into it. So 3 ways to increase your eBay dropshipping sales in 2019. First off, the first step is start a new account and go manual. I have multiple students now that have started going manual. So I haven't redropped my manual version of my course yet, but that is coming out on April 1st for an early bird special, and then it's really dropping on the 15th. But I've been coaching some people individually, and some of my students have been asking me questions. I've been leading them along on it, and so far there's multiple students that have literally seen some great results with it right off the bat, and nobody's flagged. I'm still not flagged. My account's not flagged. This is my first 2 months on my account, so this is the second month. I did 43,000 altogether in the first 2 months, and that's about 15,000 the first month, and then 30,000 the next month. I hit 30,000 in sales. It's pretty much stayed stagnant now because I haven't really been listing. I've just been focusing on getting out content and making sure everything's good. I did all of this 30,000 without doing Amazon, Walmart, or Home Depot onto eBay. I didn't use the 3 main suppliers. I found my own suppliers. I went out of my way, and you guys can do this too. This is what the whole video is about. So the first way to raise your sales or increase your sales in 2019 with manual eBay dropshipping is find items with low competition. It's not that hard to find items with low competition. You just need to find suppliers that have lower competition, and then you'll find items that have lower competition when people are selling them online. So that's number 1, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. The next is find ways to differentiate yourself. You'll realize as you start going through some of these more obscure suppliers and more, the people that are in the shadows, basically, not the people using software, the ones that have been doing this for a while. I've seen accounts that have items up, and it says on Zik Analytics how long the item's been listed, and it says literally since like 2017. Some of these items on some people's accounts, they've been up there for 2 years and they're still consistently selling. So they found ways to differentiate themselves, and I'll show you guys 4 examples or 3 or 4 examples of that in another slide. And then constantly be checking your competition. We no longer have software really to be pricing our items up and down, but then again, there wasn't very many softwares that, the way Amazon dropshipping works is you have the buy box, or you get into the buy box, there's say 20 people on a listing, and you basically just create a formula in your software that says, hey, undercut this person or stay equal to the lowest person all the way down to this percentage point, whatever you're willing to accept. Say 3%, 4%, 5% on the front end. That's your lowest, but if nobody's at the lowest, then it's going to keep going up until it finds where somebody is at the lowest, and you say you either want to equal them or stay 1 penny above them or 1 penny below them. There's really not much software out there for eBay that does that, and there's also not really a buy box on eBay, so you need to be constantly checking your competition, and if not, then you're going to be getting undercut, and then you're not going to be really making sales. So finding items with low competition, this is step number 1. You want to find more obscure suppliers, and I actually do have over here If I bring it up, hopefully my PowerPoint doesn't go away. But if I bring up the suppliers, I am on SKU right now, and this is the suppliers list on SKU. And if you scroll through, you're going to find a ton of different suppliers here. And I know a lot of people have made videos about this on YouTube, but I believe I said it first, and then other people just heard me say it. So basically, I was scrolling through some random guy's account or store the other day on Zik Analytics, and I found this cool little gardening seat. And I found it on Gardener Supply Company. I think they're like a retailer out of Vermont. I've never heard of them before, and I've lived pretty close to Vermont my entire life and spent a lot of time there, so they can't be too big. Or I just don't pay attention to gardening, which is also probably pretty true. But if you check right here, Gardeners is also on the list. Don't pay attention to the pictures. I've said this before. It has the picture of Gap for some reason. I don't know why. Everything is like off by a certain percentage or a certain amount of numbers. So you go on in here, you realize it's $49.95, but don't always expect that there's free shipping on some of these suppliers because, you know, like I said, the more obscure suppliers, you need to go down, scroll to the bottom of their website, and actually get into like their nitty gritty about shipping, returns, contact preferences. Do they have tax exemption, stuff like that? So they do definitely have tax exemption. I found that out, and they have a kind of weird way of pricing their shipping that if the item's between a certain price, then that's what you pick for the shipping. So this item is between $35.01 and $50, so it would be $12.50 shipping. So $50 plus $12.50, it's about $62.50 is what the cost of this item is. And I found this guy right here over here selling it for $86.99. So that's basically, when I did the math, that's about a 16% front end profit. And I did find out that they have some weird cash back on their website. So I went about and I found it. Basically, when you're looking these people up on Zik Analytics, just go try to find that item. Search the item by the picture, by the image. So do a reverse Google search, right click on this, and then click search Google for image, and that's when you're going to easily find where the item is if it's not on a bunch of different suppliers' websites. So make sure also, if it's low competition, there's no more than one full page of listings. If there's one full page, you know, that's kind of a lot, but the majority of the items that I've really gotten in on are 5, 10 people max, and it's really easy to, you know, figure out your competition. And then those people, you know, are also, if they're doing well, then why not go check their accounts and go find their other items and then get on their items too, because I'm guessing that they have low competition, because that's the business model that they follow. Always follow the people that are doing the same thing that you want to do, and, you know, try to differentiate yourself a little bit from them, or just go in there, undercut them, and then just, you know, at least compete a bit. And also, higher ticket items usually have less competition. So if you want to do the math real quick on what is the profit percentage of this item, actually, I'll describe that. I have actually that in another slide. So without further ado, we'll get on to the next slide here. And that's ways to differentiate yourself. And I've seen a lot of these people that are doing these manual stores really like to find ways to stick out from the crowd or make themselves different from everybody else. So these are 4 listings that I found, 2 of which are from the same buyer that watermarks his items. I blocked it out just to save the guy. You know, I don't want you guys going out and attacking this poor soul. So find ways to differentiate yourself. You can bundle items. You can multi-pack or suggested items, and I'll explain that right now. What is a multi-pack? A multi-pack is very easy to do when you actually are using SKU Grid. As long as the shipping's free, it makes it very easy. If there isn't free shipping and it's variable shipping, it gets kind of messed up, but there's definitely there's a way to do it. So a multi-pack basically is just adding together the same item more than once. So maybe somebody wants 2 bookcases, like in this one, a case of 2 bookcases, or they want 10, I've seen, you know, I've been selling some baking trays. You know, if it's from a restaurant supplier or something like that, nobody just wants, as a restaurant supplier or a restaurant, nobody just wants 1 baking tray. A restaurant wants 10, 15, 20, 24 baking trays. So why not bundle them all together? Usually some of these websites will have discounts if you bundle them all together. If they don't have free shipping, then usually the shipping is cheaper if you have 2 items instead of just 1. You know, the second item doesn't add that much more onto it. So it really does save you in, you know, you actually do end up pulling a lot of profit from some of these. And I remember I sold 2 cutting boards the other day from one of my suppliers, and I hit 22% margin because, you know, the shipping did not raise, it didn't raise equally. So the first shipping was like $17. The second one wasn't, also $17. When they added them together, it was only like $22. So it was an extra $5. That's it. So that's one way. And then suggested items, this I found on Amazon, but I just know that this is a thing on Amazon that a lot of people do. So they'll add things into it, but also, like, say you have, one thing I did before was like a soup warmer. It was a big industrial, like you'd have it at a restaurant, a soup warmer, and I paired a ladle with it because you're going to need a ladle with the soup warmer anyways, so why not just sell the ladle together with it? The ladle only costs $2, but to ship it by itself, it costs a lot more to add it into the package with this soup warmer. it was basically no extra cost for shipping, and it was like a $2 ladle. So as long as you had a decent front end margin, you could take that $2 hit or just raise your price $2. You differentiated yourself. Nobody else was selling that soup warmer with that ladle, or a soup warmer with a ladle in general. They were just selling the soup warmer. So I made myself different. Even if I took that $2 hit, I could price myself at the same price as these people that are just selling the soup warmer, whatever the competition is on that. And then I also am adding extra value to the order. So this person's doing freebies and end table and exclusive coffee mug. I'm guessing that they're charging extra because an end table seems a little bit more expensive than just something you throw in there. But you could just throw the coffee mug in there. It's what, $1, $2? Like I said, the margins I'm making on these items are no less than 8% front end, so I don't really have to worry as much, and they're a lot higher priced. So another thing you can do is variation listing. So you've ever been on a listing and has a drop down menu, and then that drop down menu gives you all the different listings. So you can make your front picture like this person did, and that's the same person that does this. So he's pretty smart. He knows what he's doing. I don't know why I assumed it's a he. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so it's four different variations. Yet in the picture, it's all four of them together. And basically, somebody's going to see that and be like, oh, wow, that's different. Or that's different than when I search this. Everybody's showing up with just one image, and this guy has four. Why not click on his listing and see what he has to offer? He has different variations. I can pick which one I want, and then go from there. So that's really helpful. So you can do that. And then also, and SKU Grid can reprice variations, so you don't have to worry about that. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Hydration is key, everybody. Remember that. And also, the last but not least, this isn't the best picture, but I found it quickly and I needed it just for the presentation. It's collage images. You want to do the collage and make sure that, or if you want to do it, make sure that it looks nice. This isn't really the best one to do it on, but it's basically just taking three of the main pictures, or three of the pictures that you would have on the listing, combining them together and, making that the main image, and then just using those other images afterwards. So you can do this in a free program called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. I'll put a link in the description, and it's very easy to do, and, that's about it. So next, or last but not least, is constantly check your competition. Sellers are always undercutting each other, and if you don't have a software like a lot of the Amazon dropshipping software is, you can't really tell when somebody's undercutting you. So more highly optimized listings leads to less overall items, which means that it's easier if you highly optimize your listings and you're trying to really make sure that you're just getting a lot of sales on a couple items, or like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 items all the time, then you don't really need to be checking a lot of items. It's not like you're going through and checking a store full of 3,000 items every day. But the max, I've seen a lot of people max have, one person I saw had 1,300, and I know that they were kind of doing a method that I do. But besides that, everybody's really averaging between like 100 to 500 items. And especially if you're pruning them off and taking them off every once in a while, the ones that are dead, you might only have to check 100 to 200 listings every couple days. Make sure nobody's undercutting you, and kind of go from there. That's what I have my VAs on. And then also, you want to make sure you're still profitable. If you guys are having confusion, and if you guys live in the United States and you have the same PayPal and eBay fees I do, make sure you have an eBay store. Make sure you have a US PayPal, and your fees will be about 12%. So if you want to do just a really quick just calculation, for those of you out there, say your item was $100, you want to do eBay price, multiply it by 0.88, and remember PEMDAS. From algebra back in middle school, I don't even know when I took this, PEMDAS, you want to do parentheses first. So you want to do eBay price times the multiplied by 0.88, and then that number you want to subtract by your purchase price from wherever your supplier is. So say your purchase price is $75. So you're going to do 100 times 0.88 equals minus $75. You're making $13 on the item. That's just a rough estimate. It's pretty damn close. So after that, if you are making sales on that item, lastly, and they stop, either go check the item. First off, if it's seasonal, then it makes sense. Like, I was selling a lot of hunting gear in the winterish region, but now that that's kind of over in the United States, then nobody's going to be buying tree stands or camouflage things really as much as they were. So, or if you have a winter-related item, winter's kind of over. It's now spring. So unless they're like living in Montana where I feel like it's cold all the time, then, your items are probably going to slow down on that naturally. That's just the way it works. But if not, then that's kind of, where you want to be. You want to check and make sure that at all times this is working, and your items, and you're not just getting undercut completely. So always keep your eye on your eBay And then after this, there's a little bonus ways to make this easier. It is still a lot of work, and I personally don't do any of it. So you want to utilize virtual assistants to take the load off of your back. Like, you want to be working on building your business, growing your business, working on new ways and like to make money, new bundling ideas, new suppliers, new all sorts of things like that. Things you don't really want to pass off to a VA. But the ins and outs and the minutia of the everyday work on like your store, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be ordering. You don't want to be listing items. You want to teach a virtual assistant how to do it and tell them what suppliers to go to. You're the person that's building your business and coming up with the ideas. You're the idea guy, and then they are the implementers. The virtual assistants are the implementers. One thing a lot of people always say is, oh, Tom, I don't have enough money for virtual assistants. I can't pay for one. I don't have $300 or $400 a month. You don't need to hire them full time. I've heard of people hiring virtual assistants for 1 hour a week when I was talking to one guy that runs a virtual assistant agency. So 1 hour a week, that's $4 a week. You know, it saves you. It saves you. You know, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day. You can pay them on a part-time basis, so you don't have to worry about that. You can pay 2 to 4 hours for quality work, depending on what they do. Customer service, I usually pay higher for than other just easier tasks. Customer service is more specialized. And then spend time making your bread elsewhere is the last thing I want to say there. You need to be spending time either making more bread, starting a new account, starting a new way to make more money, Amazon, whatever, private labeling, do whatever you want, FBA, just go flip items from yard sales, anything to be making more money while you're already making money because you've implemented systems in place. And if you don't know where to start with virtual assistants, I do have a YouTube video on it, and I also have a course that I developed that I didn't really launch or make a big deal about. So if that's also in the description, if you're interested, let me know and we can talk about it. Then SKU Grid. So there's also a SKU Grid solution for buy box items. The only thing is that's the eBay catalog with the eBay ID and the catalog-based buying experience that eBay was supposed to roll out completely by February of this year, and it just seems to have vanished or nobody really talks about it. But I haven't heard any updates from it recently, but there are more and more items every day that I see this little ability to, where there is a little buy box. And I'll make a video on that later. I don't want to get too into it. But SKU Grid does have the ability to undercut people if your listing is in that the buy box section, and it's going to take another whole video to explain it, but there is a possible solution to this in the future, and quite frankly, I'm pretty excited about that just because of the way that I love the way that Amazon dropshipping works in that aspect, because you don't have to worry about is my profit margin correct, because your profit margin is dynamic on every single item depending on what your competitors are. So you don't need to worry about it. As long as you're okay with whatever your bottom line is, then you don't really need to worry about, oh, I could have made more or less money on this one. So with that being the conclusion, think outside the box to get more sales, and it's not as hard as it seems. You just need to take the extra work and put the time in to learn these obscure different ways about going about things. So I will be teaching all these steps in my new course, and I've basically finished it. It's inching up on 65 videos right now, a lot more than I expected, but it has to be done. So also, like I said, if you stuck around this long, you obviously like my content and you want to see what the free giveaway was. The free giveaway is a top 5 manual eBay dropshipping questions PDF, which will be followed up by a second PDF. If we get 150 likes on this video, it'll be followed up by that by the end of the week. Anybody that gets this PDF will automatically get emailed the next one. So make sure you sign up for it. It's basically answering all the top 5 questions in depth, and then the second PDF is another 5 questions that's even more in depth than these 5 questions. So this was actually launched earlier this week or last week to my free Facebook group. So I actually have that cut off right here. So check the link in the description below, and it'll send you to a little chat where I actually send it to you from there. And then, like I said, join the free Facebook group. You're going to get free things beforehand, before it goes on to YouTube, just because, quite frankly, it's easier for me to put things out on Facebook first if it's just a link or, a question or a comment or a post than it is to make a whole video like this, because this is a whole operation. So lastly, conclusion continued. Please post your questions below if you have any. I promise to answer them all. The last time I actually talked about doing this, it was great success. We had a ton of conversation. I feel like a lot of people actually learned a lot of stuff from asking their questions. They weren't afraid to. That last video got almost up to 200 comments and 100 and something likes. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. And like I said, if this video gets to 150 likes, we will launch the next one right away, the next PDF, and send it out to all of you guys. So don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to Gronk smash the like button below. And if you found this helpful, please be sure to subscribe. We're rolling out a free mini course, I believe on the 1st of April. We'll hope to get it done by then, so stay tuned for that, because that's going to give you even more information for free on the behind the scenes of what I'm doing with my manual dropshipping store and how to run it. And secondly, Thirdly, if you want to be notified about this, then make sure that you hit the bell button, because then you will know when my videos come out every single day or whenever they do. And I do also, if you don't like getting the YouTube notifications, I did make a Facebook notification bot. So if you want to click that, the link's in the description. If you want a Facebook message, you can also click that and get notified that way. So like I said, there's a second PDF and a manual course that will be coming out soon. So be sure to stay tuned. Hopefully you guys like this video. I know it was a little long. My videos have been over like 20 minutes recently, but I do believe there's a lot of content that needs to get out there. This new course that I just made, I mean, I've been shooting like 10, 15, 20 videos a day, and it has to be over 7 hours of content right now. It's a lot, but there needs to be a lot put in just to make sure that everybody understands it. It's a very foreign topic to a lot of people, and it's very new. There's not a lot out there on YouTube about it. And there's not a lot of people talking about the manual dropshipping method, and you really highly should consider moving that way, because if not, your account will most likely get flagged. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. I want us all to succeed. I have a student that just started a new account the other day, and he's already sold, I think he's 2 weeks in, and he sold almost 15,000 in sales already. This guy's a workhorse. Not saying results like that are guaranteed, but this guy works hard and he gets his results from it, and you know, he reaps the benefits. So hopefully you guys see the importance in this. And thank you guys very much for sticking around this long in the video. And I will cut to my end screen, which is right here. And thank you guys very much. Have a good one.